What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I am back with a pretty exciting video. It's been probably about a month since I last added a new Jedi to the ever-growing 3.75-inch Jedi collection, but I did receive a $200 Visa gift card for graduation, and I was able to use, I'd say probably about half of it on eBay to get some really, like just to get some Jedi that I've really been after for the last couple months, ones that I just haven't found at stores and stuff. I mean, every time I go up to Happy Happy's, all I'm looking for is Jedi, and I very rarely come across them now because I basically bought out their entire stock of Jedi. So really the only way to get these certain ones was to resort to eBay. So I'm very thankful that I was able to pick up, I believe, five new Jedi, which I'm very excited about, and they all arrived about at the same time. So yeah, without further ado, let's just start with the first one here. This one is from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. He's a really interesting one, and again, one that I've just been after for a while, and it is Volvith Mon. So yeah, he is a very, very interesting Jedi. He is that wolf sort of species. I don't know what it's called necessarily. I don't know what the species name is. But I do have a figure. I believe he's from the Cantina, and he's the same sort of species as him. But he is, obviously a Jedi, and he has like brown fur. And his tunic is actually really interesting. It's not like a traditional Jedi tunic. It's barely even anything compared to what most Jedi wear. But, he is a very different sort of alien. But it is sort of Clone Wars-esque with the chest piece. And, I mean, this is the Clone Wars, the 2003 original Clone Wars, which was, it's often called the Tartakovsky Clone Wars because Tartakovsky made it. But yeah, so I picked him up. He has a green lightsaber. He actually didn't come with a green lightsaber, but they're the one that I bought, so I just had to give him this one, and that works fine. But yeah, his legs are like bent like this, so it's a little bit hard to make him stand, but I just think he's so sick. And again, he's just one that I have really been after, so to finally get him is pretty sick. So we have Volvith Mon here. And I think I got him for like $25, so not too bad. I feel like anything that's under 30 is a pretty good price for a Jedi. So the next guy I got, this is one that I've been wanting since probably January, because he comes in a 2-pack with Darth Talon, and I actually got Darth Talon at Apple Jocks a few months back, and she's definitely the more expensive figure of the two, but I did get Cade Skywalker. So actually, the way that I figure out what Jedis I do and don't have is there's this website called Galactic Figures, and they basically have a list of like every category of 3.75 and Black Series figures that have ever been made for Star Wars. And I looked up every 3.75-inch Jedi ever, and they have an entire list of them. There's like 77 or something like that. And Cade is actually not on that list, but he is one that I put on my own list, because what I then did was I went onto my notes app and I made a list of all the Jedi, and then I check them off as I go, and then I'll like calculate like what percent I have and everything like that. He's not one that was on the list, but he is a Jedi. He was trained at the temple. He was a Jedi for a bit. Obviously, then he became a pirate sort of bounty hunter guy, and then dabbled in the dark side, but nonetheless, he is a Force user, and he was an actual robed Jedi that was trained at the temple. Or maybe not the temple, because the temple would have been exploded, but he was trained to be a Jedi. So I did add him to my list myself, and I know other people do count him as a Jedi. But like I said, I did get Darth Talon a couple months ago, so I really was just after getting this Cade figure. He is a descendant of Anakin, so it's cool to get another Skywalker. The last true Skywalker is Cade Skywalker. A lot of people wish that the sequels were about this storyline with him and Talon and Darth Krayt and everything, which I agree that'd be so cool, but we got Rey. But yeah, I think he's a really cool figure. Very reminiscent of like Mandalorian armor on his chest piece there. But yeah, he was sort of like pirate-esque, which is kind of cool. He has his cloak, which is actually very pliable plastic. It moves a lot, which is pretty cool, I think. Blonde, shaggy looking hair. And yeah, just an overall very cool figure. And again, like, he really was one that I was after for a long time. I've been looking at him on eBay for a while, and I finally was able to bite the bullet. I think I got him for also like $25 as well. So not too bad with him. And also, he does come with a lightsaber as well. So I genuinely, I don't know why Galactic Heroes does not list him as a Jedi, but oh well. So the next figure is one that, again, you guessed it, I've been wanting. And it is the 2006 Sora Bulk from the Saga Collection wave. Just another Geonosis Jedi. Pretty easy one to come across, relatively cheap. You can get him from anywhere from $8 to $15. Since it's eBay, I spent probably around $15 just because you gotta pay for shipping and everything, but I'm sure if you found him at a local store, you could probably get him for like $8. Wow, that was a thud. Yeah, so Sora Bulk. There's also another guy that's the same species, and his name, I believe, is K. Mars Redath, and he came in a Toys R Us 2-pack exclusive, or 4-pack exclusive, and he's like $100, and he looks just like Sora Bulk, so that's a little crazy, but yeah, here he is, relatively pre-posed, but I'm okay with that. Let's see if he'll, does he stand okay? There we go. We'll have to have him hunched over a little bit, but here he is, and obviously we're gonna give him his blue lightsaber. I don't think I've ever seen him in stores, actually, but I know he's just the type of figure that, and he's from the Saga Collection, so you can definitely find him in stores, but there he is. I think he's pretty cool. Basically, at the beginning of the school year, so last fall, I basically wrote, that's kind of whenever I started my quest to get 3.75-inch Jedi, and he was on the list of my original list, which was like 10 Jedi. He was on it, and he was the last one that I needed to check off, so I finally completed that list, but since then, obviously, I made my Notes app list, but yeah, he is very cool. I actually really like how he looks. I like his tunic. I like his, the contrast of his legs to the tunic. I like that kind of color scheme going on. And yeah, he's just one of those weird aliens. I forget what they're called, but I think that there was like, I like whenever weird aliens like this are Jedi, because George Lucas talks about how, sometimes the good guys sometimes the good guys look a little ugly. But then that makes you have an appreciation for them, and then they're not so ugly anymore. So I think that's cool whenever you have a weird looking alien, but he's a Jedi. He's wearing a tunic and he's fighting for good, which I think is pretty cool. So I do like him for that reason. But yeah, Sora Bulk. Interesting name. Let's see if he'll stand. He was just standing a second ago. There we go. Okay, so I guess I'll open up this guy next. So this one is one that, again, I have been wanting, and he is a bit of a more expensive figure because he is a Geonosis, he's a Geonosis Jedi that came in the Geonosis figure 2-packs, and it is Roth Del Masona. So yeah, he's kind of like Joe Cloud Danva, kind of like Selig Kenjin, where he's, a human Jedi that was featured for 0.5 seconds in the Battle of Geonosis, and they made a figure out of him. But what's special about Roth is that he was actually one of the Jedi that was in like the standoff whenever the Jedi were like surrounded. I cannot get this open. Whenever they were surrounded by the battle droids and they were all in a circle, he was one of the like 10 Jedi that was in that sort of lineup. So I officially have every Jedi that was in that little circle scene. But yeah, so there's Roth. Very cool. I love this mold for Jedis. This is a really cool mold. And he has a very interesting tunic. It's basically brown all around, and then a white middle, which is pretty cool. There's his face. Pretty basic face. He has black hair with like gray detailing, so he's definitely an older Jedi, and then a ponytail in the back. Yeah, I think he's pretty cool. And the guy who actually sent this over to me did include his counterpart in the 2-pack, which was one of these Super Battle Droids, which is just so nostalgic because I used to have a bunch of this style Super Battle Droid, and then I lost them, but this is like the realistic style. Oh man, this is sick. I remember whenever I lived in California, I'd play with this all the time. Oh my gosh, that's actually so cool. That's actually sick. He also sent over both their stands. So these are basically, I basically got the complete set just without the box, which is really cool. They're both in great condition. So yeah, very happy about this. This is so nostalgic seeing this Super Battle Droid here. Like I said, I used to have a bunch of these, and I'd play with them, and I'd always make them walk like this with their gun out. Pew, pew, pew. Right now, I just have like the Clone Wars versions of a Super Battle Droid, but now I have the live action one, which is so cool. That's really awesome. And then, oh, he just died. I do have his lightsaber here, so we'll go ahead and give that to him. But I think I spent about $40 for the lot of these two, which is not bad considering Roth usually goes for about $40 by himself. That's a really deep blue, like very deep lightsaber blue color. Pretty cool. So there we have Roth Dalmasona. And then obviously the Super Battle Droid, who's probably going to tumble over again. Yeah. Their legs are a little brittle, so we're just going to make them lay down. And then I have one more Jedi, who was actually the last one to arrive. He came yesterday, and he was, again, one that I had just been after for a bit, and I found a good price on him. I mean, the thing about a lot of these figures is I don't know if I would even find them at stores, because I'm not the only one who collects Jedi. It's actually a thing a lot of people do, is they collect these Jedi figures. So I'm glad I was able to get him online. And it is Roran Korob, the Hammerhead Jedi from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. So yeah, he's a pretty cool fig. Let's get him open here. Oh wow. Yeah, see, I have not held him in hand yet. Oh, he's a very interesting figure. Can his head move? Not really. Wow, he is very interesting. So let's get his lightsaber out. The thing about him is his lightsaber is very interesting. It actually takes inspiration off of the Ralph McQuarrie concept art for what a lightsaber would look like, with that very thick bottom part of the blade. It kind of went out to a point there, and that's what they used in the Tartakovsky Clone Wars for him specifically. He had this special kind of lightsaber, and it was really neat. They also threw in one of these base plates that you would find at like a toy store, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, but here he is. You know, honestly, he looks like he could just be a Thorian Tatooine dweller, you know, but he is a Jedi. I mean, I think he looks like a Jedi too, but whenever I think of Thorians, I honestly think of Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 2 to be specific. I forget what the Thorians led. They led some corporation, but and if you're wondering what an Thorian is, it's just this species. They're called Thorians. But yeah, so the fun fact about him and Volvith Mon are that him, Volvith Mon, and then another Jedi named Falmo Dama, which were 3 of like the original Jedi created for the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, they were basically put on a poll. They made a poll to have people vote for which one they wanted to see in action figure form, and I believe that Volvith Mon actually won, but then they ended up making all 3, which is pretty cool. So yeah, now the only one that I don't have that is a Tartakovsky Clone Wars figure is Falmo Dama, which I'm sure I'll pick him up at some point. He's also relatively cheap. I think I got him. Roran Korob is actually a little bit more expensive, and I'm actually going to see if I can put his lightsaber on off camera here. But yeah, he's a little bit of a more expensive figure. I mean, it's not too bad. He's just kind of, I'd say you get him for about $30-40. But yeah, his saber looks short on him, but I feel like it's just because he's such a larger figure. I mean, look at his feet. Those are some big feet. And actually, he's my first ever Ithorian figure, period. I've never had an Ithorian. But yeah, so that is the haul. That is all 5 of my brand new Jedi that I've picked up. This probably, well, I was gonna say this is probably my biggest Jedi haul in a while, but I think last summer, whenever I went on that huge toy hunt, I think I might have gotten like 6 or 8 different Jedi. But I mean, since then, this is definitely my biggest Jedi haul at once, because I usually get 1, maybe 2 at a time. But I was able to check off some most wanted Jedi at once in one foul swoop. So that is pretty sick. Yeah, like I said, I'm really happy with all of these. And I was able to get them for, I think it was like 120 for the whole lot of them if you add it up, which is not too bad because, you know, a lot of these figures are rare and hard to find nowadays. So I am pretty happy with that. So anyways, guys, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to hit like. I think I'm actually going to be reorganizing my shelves over here. So honestly, I want this whole top shelf to be Jedi specific. Because as you can see, like, once we transition over here, it turns into like prequel, cantina, pod racing. It's kind of a mess. So I think I'm just going to move all those down there, and I'm going to move the Tatooine display somewhere else. And then this whole row up here will be simply Jedi, which is going to be really cool. And I'm going to have to do that because, I mean, I'm adding more Jedi and stuff like that. And honestly, now, the main Jedi that I'm really after are just more of these Geonosis Jedi. But the unfortunate news is that none of them are really under 50 bucks. They're all $50 to $100. So it's just a matter of finding a good deal. I mean, where is he? That Rhodian Jedi behind Boltar Swan, he's about 100 bucks, but I was able to find him for 20 at Happy Pappy's. So you really can come across good deals. It's just a matter of, you know, being in the right place at the right time. So yeah, but anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.